An 11-year-old boy, bleeding from a gunshot wound, struggled to hold his phone. His fingers trembled as he dialed his mother's number. "Mom, I've been shot," he whispered. His voice was weak, his breath fading. On the other end, his mother, Samantha Gallup Peltier, froze. Her heart pounded as she screamed into the phone, telling him to hold on, to stay with her. But just moments later, Jeremiah Huff was gone. The person accused of pulling the trigger? His own father. This tragic story isn't just about a senseless act of violence. It's about a mother forced to listen to her son die, a community shaken to its core, and a crime that has left more questions than answers. It was a quiet Sunday night in Syracuse, New York. The streets were calm, the air crisp with the last chills of winter. Families were winding down for the evening, kids getting ready for school the next day. But inside a home on Roney Road, the peace was shattered by the sound of gunfire. Neighbors later recalled hearing what they thought were loud pops, followed by silence. It wasn't until sirens blared through the neighborhood that they realized something had gone terribly wrong. When police arrived, they found two bodies inside the house. One of an 11-year-old boy, the other a 32-year-old woman. Both had been shot. The suspect? Nowhere to be found. Authorities immediately launched a manhunt. They had one name, David Huff. A father, a boyfriend, and now a fugitive wanted for murder. Jeremiah Huff was just a child. He had dreams, friends, and a life ahead of him. He was the kind of kid who lit up a room with his smile, a boy who loved his mother deeply. But that night, his life was stolen in a moment of unimaginable violence. David Huff, 43, wasn't just any suspect, he was Jeremiah's own father. And not only was he accused of killing his son, but also his girlfriend, Yeraldith Chudi, 32. What led to this horrifying act? Authorities have yet to release a clear motive. But what they do know is that in the final moments of his life, Jeremiah fought to reach the one person he trusted most, his mother. Samantha Gallup Peltier, his mother, later described the pain of getting that call. "I had the unbearable tragedy of listening to my son being murdered," she said. Those words alone are enough to send chills down anyone's spine. It's one thing to lose a child in an accident or an unexpected tragedy, but to hear their final breaths, to listen as their life slips away, is a pain that no parent should ever have to endure. And yet, that is exactly what happened to Samantha. As police arrived at the crime scene, they realized the shooter had fled. Officers combed through the house, searching for clues, trying to piece together the moments leading up to the murders. Blood stains on the carpet, bullet casings scattered across the floor. Each piece of evidence painting a grim picture of that night. The authorities knew they had to act fast. A man capable of killing his own child was now on the run, and every second mattered. A statewide manhunt was launched, with police scouring nearby areas, checking surveillance footage, and interviewing neighbors. Hours later, about 2 miles from the crime scene, officers found him, David Huff, walking along the roadside as if nothing had happened. He was taken into custody without incident and transported to the Onondaga County Justice Center, where he now faces multiple charges, including first-degree murder, second-degree murder, and criminal possession of a weapon. But for Samantha, his arrest didn't bring relief. It didn't bring her son back. The news of Jeremiah's death spread quickly, leaving the community in shock. Candlelight vigils were held. People left flowers and notes outside his school, and an overwhelming sense of sorrow took hold. Samantha, still in disbelief, spoke about the devastating loss. "We will miss him every day," she said. "My life is empty." Her pain was unimaginable. But in the midst of this darkness, the community rallied around her. Friends, family, and even strangers wanted to help. a GoFundMe campaign was launched, aiming to raise money to support Samantha through this difficult time. Within days, it had raised over $35,000, with donations pouring in from people who wanted to show their support. We are friends and colleagues of Samantha Gallup, who tragically lost her son, Jeremiah, in an unthinkable act of violence, wrote Maria Giannino, a co-worker who helped organize the fundraiser. During this heartbreaking time, the family is facing unexpected expenses, and we want to come together to support them. But for Samantha, the only thing that mattered was keeping Jeremiah's memory alive. He's got friends at school that won't forget him. He's got a whole group of people here that won't forget him, she said. Please don't stop saying his name. It's Jeremiah Huff. The courtroom was silent as David Huff stood before the judge. The weight of his actions hung over the room. Prosecutors laid out the case, the brutal murder of a child, the attempted escape, and the undeniable pain left in his wake. But there was one voice that resonated the most, Samantha's. She stood outside the courtroom, speaking to reporters, her voice shaking but strong. No parent should ever have to experience this. No child should ever have to call their mother in their final moments. Her words weren't just for herself. They were for every parent who has lost a child to violence. Jeremiah's story is a heartbreaking reminder of how quickly life can be stolen. His mother now fights to keep his memory alive, and the community continues to rally around her. But this tragedy raises bigger questions. How do we prevent this from happening again? How do we ensure that no parent ever has to experience this pain? This isn't just another crime story. This is a real child, a real mother, and a real tragedy. If you believe Jeremiah's story deserves to be heard, share this video. Keep saying his name, because no child should ever have to make that final phone call.